Good evening, everyone. I'm Bansert, as usual of Radio Retro Future, and today I am responding to a question that was asked in the Steampunk Revolutions forum. Can a Sihk be steampunk? Sihk being the cultural/religious group in India. I don't know that much about them. For the rest, I know they have their own language. I know they wear their turbans, and that's about it, what I know of them. But it doesn't matter. Yes, of course, anyone can be steampunk. A matter of fact, why does anyone still ask that question? Replied many people in the comments. Yes, anyone can. No matter your race, gender, sexual preference, greed, ideology, it just doesn't matter. Good chance a particular religious or ideological group may be more prevalent within the steampunk community, but no matter what group they belong to, most steampunks agree they don't want these kinds of discussion within the steampunk forum, or want steampunk groups dedicated to that particular group or ideological belief. And please, let's not start this, no matter what. Steampunks don't want these kind of things within this community. I don't think many people want these things in their hobbies. If you are into model trains, when you're at a club where you build these model trains or these landscapes, who is waiting on a discussion about rather social democracy is related to communism or stuff like that? Matter of fact, I talked about this with some people like Eric Fisk of the Fedora Chronicles, and he says that he used to discuss politics on his program, but now he doesn't. He has more viewers. So apparently, if you want to have a blog on steampunk, better keep politics as far away from it as possible. Coincidentally, I had an issue of a now defunct magazine called the Time Traveler's Times, which was kind of a reactionary journal with, well, short stories as well, some mock articles, but also some political stuff. And yeah, I was reading it and I was like, do I really have to comment on this? I was not looking forward to having political discussions with people, especially because it also talked about things like Darwinism, which I'm not a biologist or anything, but I know quite some things about it, and I thought it was just plain wrong. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to having such discussions when I'm talking about a fictional genre, or what its place in it is. And there are these people for a while too who want to create steampunk-inspired political movements or groups. Can you imagine what that is like? We don't even know what steampunk is. Ask anyone to explain steampunk, you'll get like 30 different answers. How do you make a cohesive ideology about it? I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know. Because I know, when it comes to the steampunk community, I know conservatives, I know Democrats, I know libertarians, I don't know communists for some reason, but I do know, social democrats. Quite a number of those, a matter of fact. Although I'm not sure if they mean the social democrats as we have it in Europe, or the social democrats like the Bernies. It doesn't matter. You're all welcome. Just keep your political opinions at home, outside of the door, or like the Steampunk Adventurers Club, who has a sign outside that specifically will say, it is not there yet, but it will be there, which specifically says no religion, no politics. You can keep your guns, just don't bring your politics and ideology or whatever inside. Keep those in your private sphere, please. Please do. I'm not waiting for political debates. Nothing, especially after this last American election, nothing is as divisive as politics is, and we've seen this all over and over again. Please, do not bring up politics or social issues in steampunk. What you can do, and a lot of people already do this, can bring in subjects that you find important. Like I, for example, advocated for education and historical awareness in steampunk. Yeah, you can promote those subjects. Please do, a matter of fact. Marcus Gilman of the Non-Illusion podcast. Yeah, he promotes skepticism and literature. Yeah, please promote those ideas. Promote things you find important. Sure, you can educate people on religion. That is not a problem for information purposes, for educational purposes. Just don't try to convince people of your political or religious conviction. It will not work. And if you want a warning from history, very recent history, a matter of fact, on how small subcultures can be affected by such debates, I never wanted to bring them up, but I need to bring out this warning. And the best one is probably the atheist community. That used to be a very strong movement in the United States. Europe is, well, Northwestern Europe, I mean, like Scandinavia, Netherlands is very secular as it is. We don't really have any strong religious parties. Even those strong religious groups, they don't want the government to intervene with religious matters. Yeah, sure, I'm sure there are some theocrats, but no one takes them seriously. You know, not even the religious people take them seriously, which is a ever decreasing group. Or it used to be, I don't know what it's like these days. But yeah, in the United States, an atheist movement is certainly needed. You know, or at least a group that fights for secularism. That used to be a thriving group until it got, well, I guess I could say infested. It sounds very partisan of me, but I'm sorry. I do consider them to be a threat to anyone who gets in contact with them. And they're called social justice warriors. They even relate to themselves this way during these days. They're basically extreme leftists. Very radical and also rather bigoted, in my opinion. But I don't want to get too deeply involved in that. The point is that they have basically infiltrated the atheist community. They started a movement called Atheism Plus. And it didn't take long for that entire community to get torn apart, because people got divided between those that rejected their ideas and people that supported the ideas. And basically these two parties started to vilify each other to such an extent. And on one side I would say it was more justified than the other. Yeah, and it grew out to become very ugly. And now the atheist community is, well, basically a shadow of its former self. It's completely been torn apart. Most of those that once supported them have gone their own way and basically started warning people to stay away from these people. We've seen them do this to the gaming community as well. But the gaming community is, well, gamers are used to fighting such people. You know, they've been fighting prejudice since its conception. From, you know, video games cause violence, video games turns gamers into rapists, stuff like that. But they fought those people time and time again, and they won. So when the social justice warriors tried it, they fought against them as well. And it was an ugly battle. The gaming community got rid of them, pretty much. They're not as influential as they used to be there, because many of them simply gave up, or others realized, what the hell are we even doing, and converted, being normal humans. Yeah. Stay away from people who identify as social justice or come up with names like Steampunk Plus. Stay the hell away. They don't have the interests of you or Steampunk in mind. Please stay away. But let's start on a more positive note. That anyone is welcome to do Steampunk. Well, it's a very inclusive community. You'll find a lot of transgender people, lots of gays involved into the community. That's the most important thing of this video. Anyone is welcome. Just keep your political ideas at home.
Much of it north, where it is dry, cold, dark, and red, and I prefer green, fresh, soft earth texture.
For Steampunk, for example, the future is one of the greatest inspirations. It's funny how something that hasn't happened yet can inspire such huge and massive creativity.
Don't have too much respect for the old literature and play with literature. That's what I would like everyone to do.
Get your stuff done. Get your stuff done. They're waiting on you.
Do it all once more. Watch me. I'm going to show you the next two parts right here.